Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and thanks for tuning into another episode of the Dumpster Diaries. As always, I am your host, Justin Allen, and I am here with
Moses Wartooth.
And first and foremost, man, I want to say, by the time, we're doing this on Sunday, so it's St. Patrick's Day for us. So Happy St. Patrick's Day for you guys, man. Hopefully you guys had some fun with that. We're not doing anything, right? We're just sitting at the house.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not going out, man. I gotta get this thing
We're
right.
not wearing green either.
Just like no green whatsoever. Like we're very festive people, in case you can't tell.
The aliens got us covered.
We'll talk about aliens here in a little bit.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
But yeah, man. So as always, folks, we're gonna kind of hit you with some current events and talk about what's been going on in the world a little bit. The first thing that is on my mind that I've been seeing a lot about in the news is this recent TikTok ban that's been going on, and that is stirring up a community there. I can tell you that.
Well, we personally don't give a shit about it. There's a lot of people that do. So
yeah. So for those of you who don't know or have been living under a rock, Congress essentially voted to ban TikTok if they didn't comply with some rules that they set in motion. And one of them is that the parent company, ByteDance, has to sell out the corporation to an American company within 180 days. And if they don't, then TikTok, the entire platform,
is banned in America.
Banned in America.
And the reason is because TikTok, ByteDance, specifically that company, is totally controlled by the CCP. Yeah. So all of our data is totally getting just given to the CCP.
To China.
Yeah. Which I don't know. I don't even like my own government having my information, so I really don't want other governments having my shit.
Yeah, no shit, right? Oh yeah, dude. They're sneaky with that stuff, man. And I know we've talked about it before on previous episodes. If you read that user terms and agreement
that no one does,
that no one ever does, like a South Park episode where Kyle clicks on it and Butters is chastising him, why would you?
3 days later, he's sewed up to someone's asshole.
It's like, oh Kyle, why would you agree to something you didn't even read? He's like, nobody fucking reads these things. He's like, oh, see right here, it says if you click this and you agree to be sewn to the asshole of another Apple user or whatever. But yeah, so I don't know, man. The thing with that stuff, if you read in those agreements that they have, man, is if you download it on your phone and you connect to a wireless router, any device that connects to that router, it rips all the metadata off of that.
Mm-hmm.
It even key logs, it logs your keystrokes.
Yeah. So your passwords, any of your personal shit, it knows.
Why is that necessary? I can understand some aspects of metadata, like when did someone go to this website, what time. I get that. I'm not saying I agree with it, but
it's for advertising purposes,
marketing purposes or whatever. But yeah, man. So they're definitely, I don't know, kind of got their panties in a twist over this one. But really, most of the people you hear bitching and complaining so much about it, it's really the content creators.
Yeah. Because, there's a lot of money to be made on that platform if you know how to work it.
Dog, imagine you spent years building up a following, right? And now you're starting to generate all this revenue from ads, merch, whatever you're doing.
Shaking your ass.
Yeah, which seems to be most of it. And then, you could just essentially just be unemployed in the next couple of months.
That's why they say you need to diversify.
Yeah, dude. I've been seeing the memes going around are epic as fuck.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, dude.
All the fine ass chicks that now they're working at Taco Bell again.
They got a McDonald's hat or some shit. So I don't know. And if you want to play devil's advocate, kind of why are they specifically attacking TikTok? Why is our government specifically attacking TikTok? Is it because of China? Because our government, we already know through the Twitter files, because, I've read through all of that, and all the stuff that Snowden released, too, man. He wrote that in his book, Permanent Record, which I read as well. The U.S. government has been doing this with every major tech company, social media company, you name it. They've been doing this forever, since the creation of it.
But the U.S. government is on TikTok.
Yeah.
Joe Biden has his own TikTok. So that's...
Right? I don't know. So, I don't know. I kind of to me, just playing devil's advocate. Now, I fucking hate TikTok. I hate what shorts and reels have done to like the internet community. Like, it has dumbed people down so much.
Yeah, made them stupid as shit.
Says the two guys that make them every single day.
Watch our reels every day. Thanks. But it's affected the children, man. That's what kids. Like we're old enough to make our own decisions. If we want to make ourselves retarded, that's fine. But don't do it to the kids, man.
Yeah, dude.
Like,
so
our shit is not for kids.
But it is kind of funny because I find it kind of humorous because, okay, now I will say, obviously these content creators, even if it's shitty content, for the most part, you got to put in the work to actually create that stuff.
It's a pain in the ass. I mean, no matter what you're putting, it's still a pain. Like, it takes work.
Yeah. Like doing a long form episode like this is like a drop in the bucket. It's easy. Yeah. But like editing and writing and then filming and editing a short, like that is very time consuming, significantly more time consuming than it is just doing an episode.
It really is, yeah.
Which might seem kind of weird to like the average listener, but I mean, for the most part, like we just film it all in one shot and just go, and it's like, all right, it is what it is. But so obviously a lot of these content creators have put in a lot of hard work, and I kind of hate that for like some of them, but most of these content creators are it's just shit I can't stand. And I'm sorry, call me an asshole, but I'm kind of laughing on the inside.
Well, personally, I hope that it's just going to, like, if TikTok does get shut down, it's going to push more traffic to YouTube, because that's our bread and butter, and I want more people on YouTube.
Yeah, we're going to be rich. Rich in fucking no time.
Shit, let's watch this video real quick about it, and then we'll go back.
All right.
The president came to my house to have dinner.
Candidate Biden needs these TikTok stars.
And this is President Biden eating cookout at my dinner table.
But President Biden needs to ensure national security.
Mr. President, do you still support banning TikTok? Would you sign that bill?
If they pass it, I'll sign it.
The yeas are 352.
The House of Representatives has passed it with bipartisan support.
The bill is passed.
Today we take a stand against the Chinese Communist Party and their efforts to turn content creators in America into foot soldiers for the CCP.
This is not an attempt to ban TikTok. It's an attempt to make TikTok better. Tic-tac-toe.
The measure would force TikTok's Chinese owners to sell it within 6 months, or the app would be banned in the US.
But there's still a long way to go until America's millions of TikTok users might see an impact. The bill may have passed in the House, but it faces an uncertain future in the upper chamber, with some senators questioning whether it's unconstitutional.
First of all, one thing I noticed about that, Nancy Pelosi was in there speaking about it, and I was like, holy shit, she's still alive?
I mean, I thought she was out of the game.
I thought she was too. Yeah, whatever. I just hate Nancy Pelosi. That
we all do.
That lizard, but that tic-tac-toe, we got it. Like, God, good God, man. So, but yeah, man. So, I don't know. Do you think they're going to actually ban it in America? Do you think that's actually going to happen?
I don't know. I guess, I mean, according to Biden, it got passed, so he's going to sign it. So then they've got, I don't think they're going to sell it. Do you think they're going to sell it to an American party just so they can still continue to advertise in America?
I don't know, man, because on one hand, if it's like a clean company and they're like, no, we're not really up to any crazy shit like you're thinking, maybe.
But it does take the power out of the CCP's hands.
True.
I mean,
but if there's actually any dirty shit going on, like spying, any crazy shit, that company will never get in the hands of Americans. No, they'll. But
another thing, like TikTok is different in China, so there's different versions of it.
Mm-hmm.
Because the Chinese TikTok is all positivity and pro-country and fucking people actually working and doing shit. Yeah. Whereas ours is just a goddamn shitball.
Yeah.
So I guess if it's a separate entity, they could just sell the they'll be like, fuck it, we're gonna sell the American version to America, and we don't care anyways, and just take the L. I mean, they already have all our data anyway, so
sure, yeah. I just think it's kind of funny. Like, we have a TikTok, and I think we just quit like posting to it, right?
Yeah, I hate that shit.
We're like, whatever, fuck this shit, we're out of here. And so we're like YouTube and Instagram. That's where we're sticking with.
Yeah.
But I don't know if it does get banned. The traffic on YouTube is probably going to significally increase. Man.
That and Instagram will come back a little bit, I would think.
And like, what's kind of
or funny. Unless they're gonna fucking that would be somebody else's time to jump in.
Like a new company coming up. Who knows? I mean, it seems like roughly every 5-ish years or something. There's some major
something new.
social media tech company that kind of just comes out of nowhere, and then eventually they're like, we're worth like $50 billion, you know, or like some crap.
Well,
like that.
TikTok fucking got rich off the back of COVID because everyone was on lockdown when that shit came out, and then that just blew it up because everyone was stuck at home on a phone anyways.
That makes
so
you
that
wonder.
was good timing.
Yeah, real convenient timing, huh?
Where's ByteDance located? Wuhan, China. Not really.
Yeah, dude. Did you ever see the CEO of ByteDance having to like testify in front of Congress? Mm-hmm. God, man, you could tell he was dancing. They were asking straightforward questions, and you could tell he was dancing around that shit.
It was just like whenever they were interrogating Mark Zuckerberg. They were frying his ass.
He's just like constantly drinking water and shit, like trying to buy him time. He's all sweating and pale and shit. He looks weird as shit. Like he literally looks like a lizard.
He looks non-humanoid.
Yeah, like an alien, like an actual alien.
A goddamn alien.
Like he never blinks. He has a weird like personality.
His face, like his symmetry is strange.
Yeah, it's because he's an alien in a morph suit, looking like a human. But I don't know, man. It might get fucking banned. It might not. But I do think it's interesting because a lot of those content creators just make fucking trash. And like I know you could say our shit's trash. I mean, it's all subjective.
Yeah, it is.
Whatever. But I do like scroll through stuff to check out other creators, like especially who have large followings, and it's like how do they get there? Like what did they make that got this for them? And like one girl like I came across, she doesn't even talk. Okay, she's just on camera and she just does yoga poses. But it's all
hot?
Super hot.
Okay.
And it's like skin tight, like yoga pants.
Yeah.
Nothing to the imagination. You can see the lips and the whole 9 yards. And she'll just be like stretching her legs and like you'll be looking down like
she's got a fisheye angle.
Yeah, dude. And then it's just like it'll be like this video got like 17 million views or something.
Yeah.
And she'll be like, you gotta be fucking shitting me, man. Like how much effort did that really take, you know? I'm tired of seeing that shit, man. Like, shit like that, you know?
And then they want to talk about women's rights. Where's the glass ceiling for the dude on that?
Shit, right? But I don't know, man. So we'll see what the fuck our government does with that stuff, man. I don't think it'll ever get it. I don't think we'll ever ban it. I think at a minimum, ByteDance will just dissolve and they'll just pull it off the market themselves.
I would be surprised if it gets banned.
Yeah, because if there's anything dirty going on with that company, like I'm telling you, man, like they're never going to sell out to an American company.
There has to be.
Because they don't want people to know.
But my thing is, like, TikTok's probably the biggest platform that's controlled by the CCP that is operating in America. But there's still plenty of other shit, man. There's Alibaba, there's Temu, there's Shein, all of those. And every one of those do the exact same shit as TikTok does. Yeah. So, I don't know. And like I said, I'll be surprised because again, our own government's on that shit.
A friend of mine, his good friend works for, I won't name it by name because I don't want to get him in trouble or anything. He works for a Fortune 500 company that does next day delivery, but and they had a meeting, and in the meeting they were like all called, and they were like, okay, Temu, like that app, you do not access that website, you do not use the app on any of your personal or company phones, and because he works like in a an office position or whatever, and so like an exec position almost, and so they were like it is loaded with spyware. Like, nope, we are not using any of this shit because Temu is a direct competition of that company I just talked about.
100%, and Temu is literally losing billions of dollars
just to outprice the competition.
Yeah, which is awesome because I buy shit from Temu all the time, dude.
Do you really?
I don't care.
You don't give a fuck. It's just
I don't care. My dad is already gone. It's already fucking out of my hands.
It's out there.
All of my shit's like, yeah.
It's not like we really have anything to hide either. So
no,
it's just
I don't give a shit.
Fuck, you know
I mean, like 99% of this shit behind me, all from Temu, baby.
Watch that be like our fucking first big sponsor or some shit. It's Temu. We should reach out to them and be like, hey, sorry about all the negative attention your company's been receiving lately. We would like to offer our support.
You send me another 80 by 80 rug for $25, and dude, you got it.
Some of the shit I see advertised, because it'll come up on Facebook. Order this or whatever, and it'll be something that's clearly like worth like $30, $40, $50, and they'll be like, $1.99
Yeah.
or some shit. And it's like, how the hell, dude? So obviously they're up to
Like
something.
they're taking that L and
They're getting
because
something.
it's at the value of taking our personal identity shit.
Yeah.
So whatever.
Because they get like all your banking information, they get where you're from. I mean, there's probably like a shit ton of analytics that you get off of that.
Oh,
alone.
for sure,
So-
man. Like I have my PayPal linked to it. I don't have my bank accounts. Like it's a little bit safer. At least there's one
degree of separation,
Yeah, dude.
between that. But I don't know, man. Our government's always up to some shit too. So who knows?
sure.
We'll see how it plays out. But I think the narrative they're pushing, I don't know. There's something up. Like there's something up with that.
They're probably just not getting a cut of the money, and that's what's pissing them off.
I think it might be a lot of it, man. That's why 360 something congressmen just went ban this shit because they're probably not getting a penny from that company. You know, so
that would make sense.
I mean, it's kind of how lobbying works, right?
Yeah.
You know? But
maybe they are. Maybe they will. They're gonna take a cut under the table from the CCP and be like, here's this money. Just shut up about this.
Maybe, or it could be something like maybe Instagram is like some gangsters and they're just throwing a bunch of money at these campaigns.
That is another
get rid
like
of TikTok.
Meta. That's a very good idea actually. Like that's one of the reasons Trump is like at first he was against the TikTok ban and now he's for the
it's vice
flip
versa.
flop. Yeah, now he's against the TikTok ban because he says if it gets banned, then that's going to give more power to Meta, which does actually make sense.
Which is funny because it's a platform that banned Trump from it.
So Trump's like, fuck him.
Yeah, really, like honestly, yeah. So that might be what he's doing. He's just like, oh
Maybe
shit,
so.
I bet they're worried.
That is a good point though, because if TikTok is banned, that's gonna drive all the traffic to Meta and hopefully YouTube.
Specifically, the Dumpster Diaries Podcast. Yeah, dude. So I would bet my left nut Meta's playing a role in this somewhere along the way.
You're
know?
right. I agree with that for sure.
Yeah, and it's probably involving some politicians, and I bet they're probably fucking scared that DJT, if he wins, I bet they're probably scared like, fuck, we should have never taken that guy off our platform. Because you know it's just who he is. Like he's very like vindictive and takes things personal. Petty, yeah. And so you know he's just, as soon as he gets a chance, he's not gonna go in for a kill, but he's gonna stab and twist slowly, right?
He's gonna be like, well.
Be like all that South Park shit when Mr. Garrison's Trump and he finally wins.
Oh yeah.
And he's just like sitting in there just basking it in, like talks to his old boss and tries to get him to suck his dick or whatever, you know. But yeah, I don't know. But our government's always up to some shit, which kind of brings me on to the next topic I want to talk
speaking of
about.
up to some shit.
Oh man, dude, America. Even when we're wrong, we're right. You know what I'm saying?
That's what this country was built on.
So we've covered this in the past extensively. I would say we did, especially on our conspiracy theory one that we did. Man,
Yeah, we've talked about it on multiple occasions.
Because it was breaking news. So for those of you who are not aware, when Trump was in office, he essentially created a law, and it stated that the Pentagon will now do an audit of all the UFOs. They call them UAPs now, unidentified aerial phenomenons. Same thing. Then every 6 months, this report will be released to the American people and Congress and all that stuff to basically hold them accountable. Like, hey, what is happening off our coastlines? Because
it's kind of like a Freedom of Information Act.
It really is, yeah. And so when these videos first started coming out, these reports, they were like, we don't know what any of this shit is. And they had physicists on there. There was a whole congressional investigation over this shit. And they had professionals that worked in the military that came forward as whistleblowers.
Like, they were quoted as saying, this is not of human descent, or like, this is not a human craft.
David Grush was an intelligence officer that was briefed into a program, and he literally said, we have non-human biologics recovered from a craft not of this world.
And he said that on multiple occasions, to multiple people throughout
And
he was on it.
People would ask him, like, are you talking about an alien? And he'd be like, I said non-human biologics, not of this world. What the fuck do you think that means? So anyway, so recently, like I said, this report comes out every 6 months. They recently just dropped a new one. And now the government is pivoting, because when this first happened, they were like, hey, We don't know what any of this shit is. Because there's a real security threat, because these things can outrun our fighter jets. They can practically become invisible. I mean, they
like, we have no chance of catching up, like, doing anything.
They can go from air to sea. Like, they can change, like, 2 different mediums. Like, as far as I know, and we did a lot of time, like, in the Air Force, that can't happen.
That shit don't happen.
Like, you know what I mean? Like,
and we're supposed to have the most advanced technology known to man at this point, and like, the officials are like, I don't know. Like,
you know, like, fuck it. So it's a real security threat because, okay, let's say it's not. Well, even if it is aliens, a security threat, it might be even more. You don't know what the fuck their intention is.
Yeah.
But let's just say it is like another country. That means they have technology that is far superior
that
than
we
ours.
Can't compete with.
And that's scary, man, to think about it. But recently,
I know it's Nigeria. They got it.
The leaders in production of steam engines and VHS tapes, is that what we said?
Elon's been funding some shit down in Nigeria.
He's been up to some shit with those crazy-ass Nigerians, you know? But, yeah, dude. But, so the government has recently pivoted on their stance, and we're going to watch this video here just because it's a news report, and they'll kind of sum it up for you, and then we'll come back and we'll tackle it a little bit more, because I do know quite a bit about this.
And we have breaking news now. A Pentagon review of decades of government investigations into UFO sightings has found no evidence any of those sightings were extraterrestrial. ABC News Pentagon reporter Louis Martinez has more on that. Louis, I know this report just came out. What can you tell us so far? And why did the Pentagon release it now?
So, Diane, this is a comprehensive report from the Pentagon office that's been looking into UFO incidents now for the last couple of years. They studied more than 80 years worth of historic documents and investigations into UFO incidents. They found no links, and most importantly, they found no evidence to suggest that the United States government or industry possesses any alien technology. We've heard claims over the years that the United States government has been executing a cover-up of what it knows about UFOs, about extraterrestrials, that the United States is in possession of some alien spacecraft or potentially even alien remains. And this report that's come out now from this Pentagon office says they have not found anything that suggests that. Instead, what they say that they spoke with eyewitnesses who claim that they saw or heard about programs like this. They say that what actually happened is that, yeah, they had access to some of those programs, but they may have misheard or misinterpreted information, and they just kept perpetuating it. So right now, I think what you're hearing is not going to be very satisfying news for ufologists or UFO fans around the world, but I think it shows how the Pentagon is really taking this seriously. And the reason they do is because these are military pilots, military personnel who are reporting these encounters, and the United States military just wants to make sure that they are not a threat. So that's why they take all of these reports about UFOs very seriously.
So they're saying all of these reports, they're like, you guys are fucking liars.
Yeah, basically. They're not denying that these pilots are seeing shit. But they were like, there's no evidence this is extraterrestrial at all.
So then what the fuck is it?
But I do like how he said in that report, he was like, some of these like people who had access to these programs were just like, no, maybe they misheard. like how do you mishear like fucking alien technology?
All of them misheard it every time. Every time it was mentioned. And then no one's corrected them on it either.
Yeah.
Until now.
So they're definitely, I don't know, they're pivoting on some shit like that. So, I mean, I think it's fucking aliens. That's just me personally, dude.
I think it's I think it's otherworldly shit. I don't think it's from planet Earth. So
okay. All right, I got you. Yeah.
I mean, that's fucking alien shit.
Yeah. So, like, on one hand, you got the Pentagon saying that, like, okay, there's no proof this is aliens, that these were highly, like, I'm trying to remember the exact verbiage, but it was something like highly classified and sensitive programs. That's where a lot of this footage came from.
Mm-hmm.
But then, on the other hand, you have, like, literally the government just basically being like, oh, we don't really know what these are or something.
Yeah.
It's like two different parts of the Department of Defense are, like, talking. They're not talking to each other. Like, they're telling different stories. Like, one hand's just like, fuck, we need to know what this is. And the other hand is like, no, we don't. You know?
Yeah.
Like, but, you know, so I don't know, man. But.
I mean, I think until we know what the fuck it is, I'm gonna say it's an alien.
Yeah.
Because if it's unexplainable and you don't know what the hell it is, it's alien technology.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, dude.
I mean, what is there to call it then? If you don't know what it is and can't explain any of this shit, then what the fuck is it?
Yeah, dude. And when that David Grush guy was getting up there and was talking about it, man, he was like, dude, I've had threats in my life. Like, he had like Men in Black like break into his house basically. He was like, I can't talk about
to do that memory wipe.
Yeah, dude. They were just fucking with him and shit. And so he was like, I'm literally like scared for my safety.
They'd go to his office desk and like walk by and slap his papers off his desk and be like, what's up, bitch? You ain't seen shit.
Just bullying him and shit. So I don't know, man. What do you think their agenda is with this stuff? Okay, so
I don't know.
Let's go down like two avenues with this. Okay, so Avenue 1, aliens are real. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So do you think they're trying to just be like
just downplay it and like not worry people?
Yeah, be cool about it. Like,
but this shit came out like I guess around 6 months ago was the last time, and then people were like, "Oh yeah, it's real," and no one freaked out. Like the public was like, "Cool, that makes sense to us." Like I don't know why they're trying to cover it up if it is a cover up.
I mean, maybe it's possible. Like I don't know. Like, so, we could go down the avenue, like I said, aliens are real. We can go down the other avenue of, like, say they're not real. So
like
then
it's Chinese or Russia, and they, like, have some serious shit.
Yeah.
And if that was but even then, if that was the case, I feel like the government would be like, it's aliens. To try to not let, like,
yeah.
I don't know.
But I'm telling you right now, man, like, I'm going to be, let's just say, hypothetically, like, it is, because no one really knows what this shit is at all. I mean, somebody on this fucking planet knows what it is.
Yes, that's true.
They ain't fucking talking.
There has to be a small group of people that do know what the fuck is going on.
Find those guys. Yeah. That's the answer. You never really thought about it like that. You're like,
that is true. Because
somebody knows.
There is some people that do know
that definitively know. Somebody made that shit.
Yeah.
Or they like observed it and they know.
If it is real, they really did. There was people there that was touching on that alien body. If that was true and if that was real.
Where the fuck those guys go, man?
They're probably the next chef for the Clintons.
Yeah, dude. I bet some of those dudes are probably fucking worried too, man. Let's say, if you assuming the alien shit's all real, say it's all real. Roswell crash, all that shit, man.
Area 51, all that stuff.
And, say you were a part of that, and then this shit starts leaking out and coming out. It's like, fuck.
Yeah, because they're going to come for you.
Yeah, and then, like, even if, like, your own government ain't fucking with you in some way, like, then you got to worry about the people, man. Like, once documents start coming out and there's names mentioned and shit, I mean, they usually wait till everyone's dead.
There's some crazy alien people. Like, they could put some hurt on some random people.
Yeah, dude, they're psychos, man. Because, there's, like, legitimately, like, in that conspiracy realm, dude, like, there's, like, legitimate... there's always people with mental illness, but it kind of attracts some of those people, man. Because, I like it. I read about conspiracy. We just... For this show growing up, I watched X-Files growing up. I love that shit, man. I think it's interesting. But I'm pretty good at, like, discerning between, like... fact and fiction, right? Or like, where is there any kind of credible evidence to possibly allude that this could be real, right?
And like we've talked about, like the people that report the sightings and shit, a lot of those guys are legitimate people. Like they have no reason to lie, and if they know they know the capabilities of their shit. So whenever they see something that they can't explain, like what do you?
Because they had that David Grush testifying in front of Congress, man, and that was the intelligence guy from the Air Force. I think he did like a decade in the Air Force. Yeah. But he was sitting next to a dude named Commander David Fravor, man, and he was like a commander for, I'm trying to remember, I think it was an F-18 like fighter squadron, essentially like...
So he knows his shit.
Yeah, dude. He was like, he ran literally squadrons of fighter pilots. He
knows the best aircraft.
Yeah. And another thing is, like, these guys all, to become these commissioned officers, they all have, and to become pilots like that, they all have degrees in STEM. Mm-hmm. So David Grush, the intelligence guy, has a degree in physics. And he's telling you, he was like, this shit you see on camera right now is not physically possible.
Yeah, it is not obey the laws of physics that we have on Earth. Dude. So that leads you to believe.
He was like, we don't have any... I think David Fravor's exact quote was, the American government does not have any technology like this in its arsenal that I'm aware of. And he was like, and I'm aware of a lot of it. Yeah. So I was like, holy fuck, dude. Because I watched that shit. I was like sitting at the house, like eating popcorn. I was like, I look like that meme from Once Upon a Time in Hollywood where it's like Leonardo DiCaprio pointing at the TV. He's just look. I was like, I've been telling you. So, but who fucking knows? And the thing is, we live in an age of misinformation and spin. It's really an age of spin, honestly. somebody here, what we just watched, what we just talked about, somebody here is playing an angle.
For
now,
sure.
Whether it's a private industry, whether it's a government, who fucking knows? But I will tell you one thing for certain, man. Let's just say this shit is human. Aliens don't exist. Let's just say it's an adversary of ours. Russia, China, insert whatever fucking dickhead country that keeps fucking shit up in the world for everybody else, right? Let that be their technology. And I'm going to be so angry because we have the highest national defense budget. We pump more money into our intelligence communities. We have 17 intelligence fucking communities like in this country.
Yeah.
And you want to tell we got spies all over the world.
And we still couldn't figure that shit out.
We got bases in like 86 countries or some shit. And you want to tell me they got that shit under your nose? You couldn't fucking keep track of that? You couldn't keep track of Nigeria, motherfucker? Elon Musk was there 3 times a week. You know? You know what I mean though? Like it's like, where the fuck is our money going? But if you're not doing your goddamn job and defending us against shit like this because these things are coming in our fucking
professional narcs, man. Like, you're supposed to figure this shit out. But another thing, like, another reason why I don't think it's another country is because they would be bragging about that shit. Yeah. Like, since when has any country made something high-tech and not bragged about it? Like, the space race, like, come on. Like, any nuclear weapons, planes, jet, like
even
everybody brags about that shit.
Even like the balloons. I mean, because it's getting real. Like that type of technology, just having the funding to do that and the resources and capability. There's only a handful of countries in this in the world that could pull that off. It's like us, Russia, China, maybe some shit in the EU. Australia might be able to pull some shit or whatever.
Maybe.
But then like once you start like going down, because like those countries
don't have the money.
They don't have the money to do that shit, man.
They don't have the resources. A lot of them don't have the actual technological capability to do that shit either.
Dude. So I mean,
we got people dealing with sticks and stones in some places.
Yeah, like this islands off the fucking coast of India.
Yeah,
it's like literally like untouched tribe.
Dude,
like
but I think if it was from this world, like ISIS would have already claimed that it was them because we did that shit, or even like Kim Jong-un, he'd like copped up to that shit.
Yeah,
like,
and
which
like,
is kind of surprising that no one has like taken credit for it.
And like, let's just look at those fucking balloons that were flying over like what last year.
Yeah,
and we shot them down, or shot a few of them down.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking China immediately copped to that shit. They were like, yeah, it's fucking ours.
Yeah.
And then of course they were like, they're weather balloons, whatever. Yeah. But they immediately copped to that shit. You know what I mean? If they had some shit that got over every single piece of defense we have,
and they would be using it all the time.
Yeah, dude. You know?
Like that. Yeah,
they're
like,
just flying around.
Humans are too cocky to not be like. If they had the capabilities, they would be using that shit and flexing on us. Like,
yeah, dude. I think it's fucking aliens, 100%. I think it's aliens. Like, until you can prove otherwise, that's what I'm going with, and that's my most logical conclusion.
Because that's what makes the most sense.
And I will say this isn't even a joke, man. If it comes out that our government actually knew aliens were real, and they kept that shit from the American people, but like the world, I consider that to be a crime against humanity. Like, we're not alone. Like, whoa, what the fuck? That's like That's crazy to think about.
That's
you know
like
what I mean?
That's like one of the questions of the world.
Yeah, dude. Like the great mysteries of the universe.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
You know what I
Are
mean?
we alone?
You know, and so some like suits,
and
douchebags.
What is that going to do to religion?
That's my thing. That might be why they're trying to pivot and shit on this
because people
stuff,
would
man.
just
like,
lose their faith and just freak the fuck out. I don't know, man. Like, I feel like the people that are religious, they're not like, there's not going to be anything to change their shit. Like Muslims, diehard Christians.
You're telling me if we did some fucking Tim Burton's Mars Attack shit, like dude walks off a spaceship, like yaka yaka, like you're telling me those motherfuckers wouldn't have a second opinion?
They would be trying to convert those motherfuckers.
You really think so?
100%, dude. We've tried to convert every fucking thing. If a guy,
I'm talking about aliens, like a ET motherfucker.
Dude, if a dog had a brain that could fucking read and write, we'd be trying to teach them religion.
You don't think right for at least 2 seconds they would have to stop and be like, "What the fuck is that?"
I don't know, dude. Faith is a powerful drug, man.
It really is. It really is, man. When a man starts believing in something, it's hard to it's hard to sway him or whatever. But I don't know, man. But like I said, I think our stance is the same, man. And until they prove otherwise, I'm going with aliens. Yeah. Oh fuck. All right. Well, that touches that subject, man. You want to talk about our next little topic?
Yeah.
The great city of Chicago, ladies and gentlemen.
Talk about a peaceful nation.
I think it's funny because they have All right, we'll watch the video and then we'll just talk about it. All right, yeah.
Good morning to both of you. Yeah, for months, City Council has been debating about how to weigh in on the war going on in the Middle East, a war they have little power over, but one that has deep roots and a deep impact on this community and on their constituents. Now, tensions ran high last week, if you remember, when protesters filled City Hall over the same issue. After a heated debate, the council ultimately pushed back a vote on this resolution to observe Holocaust Remembrance Day. Now leaders plan to call for a vote today. Those who oppose the ceasefire resolution have said the language should include a clear reference to the atrocities by Hamas, who launched a surprise attack on Israel in October, setting off the war. In the meantime, hundreds of Chicago public school students walked out of class this week ahead of this morning's vote, calling for a ceasefire.
They can't even vote.
Students held a sit-in at the entrance of City Hall, holding signs and chanting to show support for Gaza. Now, this ceasefire resolution is clearly symbolic and will not really have any binding authority. But if it is passed, Chicago will be the biggest city in the country to pass a measure just like this. This meeting.
Well, there's that. Do you want to start or you want me to go with it? Like, who's shitting on this?
So first off, Chicago voting for a ceasefire in Palestine is not going to do a fucking thing, man. Like, first off, Chicago needs to worry about themselves. Chicago's probably more dangerous than Palestine.
The first thing that came to my mind, man, was like, I think it's in the top 10, but I think it's like number 3 or something for like gun violence in America. Like, worst cities to be in.
Just violence in general.
Yeah, and it's like, they're actually calling for a ceasefire. It's like, bro, worry about your own fucking city, dude. How about that? God damn it, dude. That's
crazy, man.
I'd be mad at, like, my politicians. I'd be like, hey, man, like,
how about we try to help our own people? Like, my brother got shot in the face last week. No one can, like, why aren't we voting on that?
What was that statistic you were telling me about?
Apparently, you're 793% more likely to get robbed, shot, or just assaulted in the city of Chicago than, like, the vast majority of the United States.
So, basically, 800% increase.
Yeah.
God damn, dude. Like, I don't know, man. Chicago's a fucking shithole, though, dude.
Apparently, they say that it's toned down a little bit in the past few years, but I don't know. They say the media, like, blows that shit out of proportion, but at the end of the day, like, those statistics don't fucking lie. Like, that's still a dangerous
like official reports and shit. You know? But it's just like, politicians, man, like,
why are they wasting taxpayer dollars on that shit? Why are they wasting time, facilities? People are getting paid to sit up there and make those decisions that have zero effect on the rest of the world.
They're just filling their calendar, man. Like, they're just, all right, well, you know, I'm getting paid, I'm doing all this, like, I'm gonna act like I'm busy and all this other shit. And honestly, really what it probably comes down to is, because I do know this, Chicago has a very high, like, Muslim population.
They do, actually. You're right about that.
There's a lot of people from, like, all over the Middle East, but I would imagine a lot of, like, Palestinians. Well, I think they're gonna have strong opinions about what's happening between Palestine and Israel, right? So,
I mean, they should go back over there and fight then if they care that much.
So I think what was really happening, man, is, like, those city councilmen
pandering to them.
Pandering to get votes, man, because it is election year. So.
Yeah, and there was only one Jewish member on the board, and he was extremely pissed about it, by the way. But for real,
I can't even make that shit up, dude.
Yeah. But did I hear that right? They were talking about they weren't gonna, like, there was a Jewish Remembrance Day, and they, like, pushed it to the side. They, like, pushed the ceremony back.
I thought they were talking about the vote. They pushed it, like, it was like Holocaust Remembrance Day, and then they, instead of doing it on that day, they pushed the vote, or was it vice versa?
Oh, okay. I don't know.
I don't think they pushed the Holocaust Remembrance Day.
I was like, man, you gotta be kidding me. Like,
like, I don't think they're that
poor
ballsy.
Jewish guy. He's like, come on, man.
Like, for real? For real?
Yeah.
I don't know. The alleged, as some people would say, the alleged genocide in Palestine. So
yeah,
genocide.
Again, man.
It's overall. I mean, we've talked about the Israel to Palestine shit, like, excessively in the last, like, month or two, man. But it's obviously a fucking sad thing, and that shit, it's fucking pointless.
Yeah, it's a damn. I mean, it's a fucking holy war.
Yeah.
So you don't
It's
solve.
the pointless part.
Yeah, because you don't. Holy wars do not get solved. They only get solved by genocide. Like,
So, I mean, I wish it would just be over. I think a ceasefire is a good idea, man. Like, because that starts, peace talks.
I mean, surely the Israelis have gotten enough revenge on them by now, right? I mean,
they're knocking them motherfuckers out like 5-1, dude.
So, but at the same time, like, they are the surrounding countries are against them and like Israel in general. So it is kind of like they're making their last stand in a way.
I mean, I don't blame Israel for like being hostile, because literally every neighbor that borders them just basically wants them fucking wiped off the map. Like literally.
Yeah, like Iran literally says we will not stop until Israel is wiped clean. Like,
yeah, dude.
So whenever you got people, whenever your neighbor's telling you that, you kind of got to stand up for yourself.
Fuck, dude. Oh yeah, I don't know. How long do you think it is before we see troops over there?
Shit, I don't know, man.
Because we did our time in the military, man, so we can pick apart these politicians like what exactly they say, right? So Biden during his State of the Union speech was like, there is not a single American troop in Ukraine.
He's lying.
But there was a report that came out there are special forces there and shit help. There's a whole NATO thing going on, because Putin blew the lid off that and was like, fuck you guys, you know what I mean? Whatever. But anyway, but my thing is between Ukraine and I believe he said the same thing about Israel. I might misquote him exactly, but he has said in the past, we're not sending U.S. troops to Israel and all that.
We're just sending hundreds of billions of dollars.
Yeah, we're just giving them support, aid, whatever they want to call it. Make it sound like we're sending pallets of rice, but it's like, hey, AK-47s and grenade launchers and fucking $100 bills. But my thing is we are literally positioned in countries that surround. We have a fuck ton of troops in Jordan. Mm-hmm. So they'll say verbiage like no U.S. troops are in Israel,
but they're on the border of the other countries.
But they're literally right there. It's it just adds an extra
overnight
20 minutes.
They can have 20,000 troops in the country.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, So I mean, it's just same shit we do Kuwait and Iraq. When Iraq was trying to invade Kuwait, we just be nah, we ain't in Iraq.
Which I'm not gonna lie. Whenever I was younger, I was extremely pro-war. I was like, fuck it, let's go, let's blow shit up. And now I'm like, man, we just need to take care of ourselves.
Yeah.
I'm done. I'm done fighting foreign wars. I think that's fucking bullshit.
Yeah. It's tiring.
We have the right. We need to defend ourselves. Mm-hmm. But I'm sick of playing the fucking hero, man. We don't need to keep involving ourselves in every single conflict.
Dude, I fucking 100% agree, man. I'm all about no more new wars. How about fucking stop doing that?
Now, if someone attacks us on our own soul, then
Game
balls
on.
to the wall, blow them off the fucking map.
Game on. Looks like we're getting a 51st state.
Yeah, turn their sand into glass, dude. We're done. But aside from that, man, just fuck it. Keep to our own business.
But we stack our troops in these surrounding countries like a motherfucker. We as soon as that Ukraine shit popped off, we had fucking squadrons of fighter jets in Romania.
Yeah.
Right next door. They were just sitting there. I knew guys who were there, man. And it was just oh shit, So I'm I don't know, man. But seeing those, these fucking politicians using very, very specific verbiage.
Oh yeah.
And so just read between the lines, folks, and don't take it for face value, because they'll always be, technically I wasn't lying. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Or whatever. Which they'll also lie to.
Although, hell, if you give them a month, they're going to go back on whatever they said anyway, too. So, flip-flop.
I don't know, man, but we went on a fucking ramble with that. So I guess for what it's worth, Chicago can't really fucking solve.
Chicago needs to worry about Chicago.
That's our viewpoint on that shit. But I don't know, man. Politicians, dude, I think they're all company men. I think they're all on the same page.
Sure. It's it's like if you go to a company and pick the lowest of the low, and then be like, you're gonna be our leader.
Yeah, dude. But I do think, we talked about it before, man. I do think Donald Trump threw a whole wrench in that system, man. I think that's why. It don't matter. He's got Republicans. He's got basically all Democrats, but he's got Republicans coming after him too and shit.
Yeah, he does.
There's people fucking worried that dude's gonna win.
They're doing everything they can to break that dude down.
And every day something new comes out about it, man. Fucking to bring it up, but Mike Pence just gave a fucking interesting statement about if Trump was to win the next election. But we have a video about it, so we'll just watch it and then we'll shit on Mike Pence for a while.
See what this gentleman has to say.
This fine gentleman.
And another political note here in the race for the White House, former Vice President Mike Pence saying he will not endorse the president he once served. Pence saying he cannot in good conscience endorse Donald Trump, slamming him for pursuing an agenda that is at odds with the conservative agenda. Pence adding he would never vote for Joe Biden and dismissing both the idea of backing a third-party candidate and himself running as a third-party candidate.
Well. Woo.
So he's like, I ain't voting for Donald, I ain't voting for Biden or a third party, and I'm not running. He's like,
all right.
So you're sitting this one out.
Yeah, that's kind of what I gathered from it. You just sit on the sidelines, you know, bitching about whatever the outcome may be or whatnot. But because that statement alone gives him the right, no matter what happens, he can bitch either way.
He's going to be like, I told you.
That's the most like grimy, neutral, like, you know, he's like, fuck Biden.
Just taking a stance on nothing.
Whole lot of words for saying absolute nothing, dude. But you're a real fucking American hero right there, dude. I don't know, dude. Fucking Pence. I've never really liked that guy, man. Like, when I've seen him before, even before he was vice president, I never really liked that guy, man. Just something's off about him. Some of his beliefs I really do not agree with. Like, he believes that being gay is a mental illness, and he ran on this whole campaign about it in Indiana and shit. Because he was a senator from Indiana or whatever. And he was, like, trying to essentially,
like saying they're mentally ill?
Yeah. And stuff like that. And so he was promoting like the conversion therapies or whatever.
Oh, or like the religious shit where they go to camp to try to get like beat the gay out or pray the gay away.
Beat the gay away.
I think they do both at those places. That's not their slogan, but the A goes on there.
Yeah, dude. So he's got some weird shit, man, and I don't know. But I do think it's kind of funny if you do remember when he gave his vice president debate against Kamala Harris. Do you remember that shit?
I don't remember it.
Okay, so the presidents, or presidential candidates always get 3 debates. The VPs get 1 debate, right? And Kamala like steamrolled his ass. I'm gonna give it to her on that one. I think she won that shit.
Dude, if you get beat by Kamala,
dog,
you don't even need to be up
He was
there.
just trying to be, you just know how he is. Like, he was just very kind of like quiet, and he was trying to be like very straight and professional, and like
she
just
is
talk.
the opposite of all
and
of
she
that.
was just like overbearing anytime, so he really couldn't get a fucking word out without her barking.
She was basically doing like what Trump likes to do.
Yeah, it's almost like they were trying to play like their parents, I guess. I don't know, but he's like talking, and a fucking fly like lands on his head. And so, like, the memes were so funny. People were, like, basically calling him, like, saying, like, flies are attracted to pieces of shit. Some people were, like, saying he's the Antichrist. It's like death is just attracted to him, you know? Like, looks like, I don't know. He just reminds me of a Q-tip. But I've never really liked the guy, man. And then there's all, I'm not going to get all into it, but there's all the stuff about January 6th and all that. And then he gave that real bitch-ass interview after the fact. And I was kind of like, oh, dude, you are a fucking wishy-washy
Yeah, well, he turned
dude.
on Trump while he was still the vice president.
Yeah.
Like, so I didn't know much of anything about him before that, but then whenever that went on, I was like, you're supposed to have your boys back.
Yeah.
Like, and if you can't do that, then you don't need, like, get the fuck out of there.
Yeah, dude. So, and he just gave tons of, like, interviews, too, after the fact, and he's just being real wormy and shit like that, and I just don't think you can trust the guy at all.
Yeah.
But he's a civilian. It's not like his fucking opinion really matters. But, however, he was VP during one of the most controversial fucking presidencies in our lifetime, at least. So, I guess
he was totally overshadowed by. I mean, you never even heard about that motherfucker hardly at all.
No,
like
I think old DJT just kept his fucking mouth shut.
Probably
just like, stop talking.
So one of these days we're gonna get a decent vice president, maybe. Like, we ain't had one last time. We don't have one this time. Let's see what next time this upcoming election brings.
Yeah, dude. I don't know. I mean, I'm optimistic. I'm hopeful about it. So, I mean, no, actually, I'm not. I really don't think. I think no matter who wins, it's gonna end in riots and fire. And,
yeah.
And it's. I think. You think the last election was contested that bad? Like, which we could agree is rough. Okay, shit was dragged out. There was a lot of questionable shit going on.
Yeah, questionable.
So, but the thing is, man, if you like, I'm just telling you. I wish it wasn't true, but I'm calling it like I see it, man. I think the next one's gonna put that. Won't
hold a candle to it.
Won't even hold a candle to it, man. Yeah, it's just gonna be insane, dude. And I'm just kind of curious to see like what. I don't want to say the radical left, but hypothetical. Okay, so like if Trump wins, you know, it'd be more like the radical left freaking out. Like if Biden wins, it'd be more the right wingers kind of freaking out, right? But I'm kind of curious because the radical left, it's always been like some social movement, like agenda attached to this, which they just use to harbor domestic fucking insert T word.
Yeah.
But like, you know, like, and I almost let that slip out of there for like 2 seconds. But
yeah, they're not on any list.
They're not. Yeah. And it's like, dog. I don't know. So I'm kind of curious, like, what is the next thing going to be?
Yeah. Because, I mean, like, and the tension is just steadily building up over, like, it hasn't,
you see it, bro.
It has done nothing but increase over time.
We really see it because we obviously we have our show and everything, folks, but like we monitor other stuff. Like, so I mean, we cover stories, we talk about things, like,
and we try to be extremely open on like all of our news sources. Like we show shit from Fox, CNN, ABC, like BBC, like everything.
Like,
yeah,
I mean,
we try to at least try not to be narrow-minded when it comes to the information that we're getting.
Fuck, I think we even used Al Jazeera News one day.
Yeah.
You know?
Whoever's got a responsible story.
And then even like with our jokes too, man, like especially like our shorts, you know, where that obviously pisses off a lot of people. Like if we make fun of Trump, then like the next one we're gonna make fun of Biden on or something like that, or like we make fun of some left shit, we're gonna make fun of some right shit and try to balance it out or whatever.
We make fun of an Asian kid, we're gonna make fun of a white guy next. Like,
yeah, dude. So
we try to be equal opportunity in all of our negativity shit. So
spewing our hate. And
shit. I mean everybody deserves to get shit on.
I mean, yeah, that's kind of how I feel. But I'm just curious because, like, you know, you said things are getting tense and stuff, and I see it in comment sections, like forums and threads. I don't know, man. Like everyone is talking, like, and what has me worried, they're talking subtly about it. You know, it's like they got smart from the last one, and it's like, oh fuck, okay, what are we doing here? Like, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what the fuck's gonna happen. I just don't think it's gonna end well for either side, to be honest with you.
Yeah, because it's at the end of the day, dude, it's just gang shit.
It's literally all it is.
Like people are getting mad about shit that, for the most part, doesn't affect their day-to-day life. Like inflation is real. Yeah, obviously that shit's fucking pisses everybody off.
Defense.
But I mean, most of the stuff has nothing to do with your day-to-day life.
Yeah, and it's like a president doesn't really, for the most part, actually really influence your day-to-day life.
No. Like they can pass some shit occasionally, but at the end, again, it's not all their fucking. It's who's voting on this stuff. Is it getting passed? Like, I mean, the TikTok shit.
Yeah,
Biden's gonna maybe finalize it, but he wasn't the one that came to that decision.
It's Congress. Yeah. Those are the motherfuckers you have to go after.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so because I mean, if enough of them get on board, I mean, they can
override the president.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
which they've done it a bunch of times.
So I don't know, dude. I think. I don't know. I've never understood why people put so much emphasis on the presidency.
I feel like it's because as a society, we've fallen victim to an easy world, an easy way of living, and we don't have any real struggles. And in a way, it's kind of like a fucking reality show. Like, you can put all of your stressors from the day into some person that you like.
Yeah. And I think it's easy, too.
It is.
You know, it's like this side or that side. Pick a side.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's simple, you know,
but again, they're just driving that wedge, trying to make us weaker as a American nation.
But then when you start getting into like, you know, starting with federal levels, but like, you know, senators, U.S. senators, U.S. representatives, and federal judges and stuff, and then you get down to like your state levels, like your state Congress and all that stuff, it becomes several people you got to keep track of, and I just think most people are just lazy, don't give a shit, and don't read. Like they'll say, like they'll get mad around like election time or whatever, like they're like, oh, like whatever, you know, do some crazy shit or whatever, but the reality is like these people, most of them never really gave a fuck.
You make a good point. So I guarantee you, if we were like, so if we make a short about Trump or Biden, that's going to piss people off. If we were to make shorts about our state representatives, the average person doesn't even know who they are anyway.
We've made fun of like other state representatives.
That is true.
Like
people, like, everybody knows who Greg Abbott is now.
Yeah.
But because he's in a wheelchair, that singles him out, and because he's been all over the news for the Texas border shit. But other than that, before that, people didn't know who he was.
Like, we made fun of Maxwell Frost in New York, and he's just a state representative. Well, no, he was U.S., wasn't he? I can't remember.
I think he was U.S.
He was U.S. Yeah, now that I remember, he was U.S. But no, we've made...
people don't know who those people are.
We made fun of some people, like, whenever they made it to the news. Like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
But also, it's not our responsibility to know who those fucking people are. They're not in our districts. They don't represent us or whatever, you know? Like, we need to
really, I think people would, like, as a whole, our society would be better if we cared about what went on in our own town.
Yeah.
Versus what goes on in the fucking world.
Yeah, like, I'm more worried about the goddamn potholes like in our city than I am like what's happening in some bullshit conflict somewhere.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck about that conflict, man. You know, and I sure as fuck don't want to pay for it.
That's another main thing.
So, I don't know, man, but
I guess that's a lot of times what pisses me off is because I know all these things, like these high level shit, we're paying for it, like the American people, and that's bullshit.
Yeah. I mean, like, I've seen videos, too, man, where, like, God, dude, it was so dirty. So a lot of, like, members of parliament in Ukraine, like, when we first sent, like, our first aid package to Ukraine, I can't remember exactly how much the first round was. Was it 100 billion or was it 80?
I think it was 80.
80? Okay, well, a lot of that was cash.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And then, so, because Ukraine is, like, so corrupt or whatever, like, half their parliament, you know, essentially their Congress, wanted to side with Russia. Like, a good portion of that country, I think 25% of that country identifies as Russian. They speak Russian. They have family in Russia. They're like, we're Russian, you know? And what was interesting is I saw videos coming out. Now, you would mostly find them, like, on things like X and shit like that. You know what I mean? Like, media platforms that don't censor you, you know? You know, or censor you as much, I guess. And they were catching videos of these members of their parliament essentially just bailing, like skipping town. And they were finding them in airports, and they just literally had duffel bags full of like United States $100 bills and shit.
Where'd you get that from?
Yeah, dude. They caught one dude trying to buy like an estate in Switzerland. Like he'd already sent his family and shit there. And they caught him just
Swiss bank account, man.
Yeah, dude. And I was like, motherfucker. And then I started thinking about it. And I was like, okay, you know, maybe these members of parliament over there, maybe they were, you know, stealing money, sure, but maybe they weren't. Maybe they were giving that money and just
get out of there.
Just hear me out, because it's still a democratic society over there, right? Like it's not a totalitarian government. Like people
Allegedly.
still vote. People still vote. They have a voice, right?
Yeah.
They can vote a president in the whole 9 yards. So they can create new laws, they can change laws, whatever. So I think what happened was the United States, or just maybe NATO in general, but really the U.S., because they're kind of the leaders of it.
Yeah.
I bet they sent some spooks from the CIA or some shit like that on a fucking plane with a bunch of goddamn money, and they gave those dudes money, and they were like, no matter what happens, you have to side with like the solidifying Ukraine's border. Like you
and
can't
just keep fighting this fight.
You can't let Russia come any closer to NATO. I think that's what it was, man.
And they benefit from that because they get to start another war. Mm-hmm. And war is big business.
Mm-hmm. Or motherfuckers could have just robbed us blind, like some fucking Pink Panther shit, and fucking booked it out of town.
But I mean, if the shoe was on the other foot, the Americans, like, they would have done the same thing that the Ukrainians did.
Oh, just like fucking clean house.
Like if anyone ever, if the roles were ever reversed and we were ever in a situation where anyone would ever send us money, which is hilarious in itself because that would never happen. But you know, our top dudes would just take that money and run.
Yeah, they'd be like, we're gonna use these funds for something.
We're gonna fund the railroads. We care about. We're gonna.
And it's all gonna be companies like their fucking friends and family all work for and have like multi-million-dollar salaries, and they're like, oh, just in time for the fucking
BlackRock, Boeing,
just in time for the annual bonus that's coming around. You know? No, that was my sister's husband. He got the $10 million bonus at the end of the year from BlackRock. I didn't.
I did not buy $3.5 million worth of that stock. That was my sister-in-law.
It's just a coincidence. I don't know, man. So, but there's always more than meets the eye, dude.
For sure.
There's definitely always like an agenda to something, because
and corruption is everywhere.
It is.
Corruption rules the fucking world.
I think it's a freaking heck of a lot more common than what people realize, man.
Yeah,
I think it's in everything.
I think we like to shade we like to push shade on other countries doing it, but we're just as guilty.
We're
probably even more.
Shit.
We're probably even more.
We're doing that sneaky shit. Yeah. You know? I mean, look at all the crap that's been declassified, man. That's come out about like various conflicts and wars we've been in and stuff like that, and it'll come out later. You know, and it's just like, what the fuck were we doing, man?
Yeah.
You know, like, dude, we literally, our own government literally imported cocaine and allowed for the importing of cocaine into this country, had it sold to make money to fucking raise it for the Contra wars, man, that were happening in like Nicaragua and shit when Reagan was president. And when Reagan was president, that's when him and fucking Nancy Reagan were pushing DARE and Just Say No.
Yeah, which was one of the most failed programs ever as far as financial and didn't do anything.
So your own government sits there and tells you drugs are bad, just says no.
While peddling coke.
While peddling not just coke, but crack cocaine, which is way more intense and gets you hooked a hell of a lot faster.
Well, dude.
And then targeted specific communities
and then
like in America.
About the fentanyl epidemic.
Yeah,
Is
no
it a
doubt.
copycat, dude? I mean,
hey, man, I've told you before, man. You know my theory on that shit, dude. I think they believe that is a problem that's going to solve itself, dude. Just let the junkies kill themselves, man. Because they don't want to address healthcare in this country. They don't want to address mental health. They don't want to do any of that shit, man.
Because that's losing money.
Yeah. We're the only
Our healthcare is like one of the biggest business. I guess aside from the military-industrial complex, probably healthcare is probably number 2.
It's like definitely in the top 5.
Yeah,
like we're getting up there, you know. But yeah, dude, it's just there's no money in it. And like what's fucking scary and crazy, really scary and crazy, is we are like the only like Western country that does not have some form of socialized healthcare. Now we have Medicare and Medicaid, but dog,
and we're one of the only ones that don't regulate the pricing on medication and healthcare.
That's what gets me on that shit too, man. You know what I mean? It's like why is that even an argument? You know, like why? What are you doing?
Like, how are you going to say you care about the people, but then have a free-for-all and, like, we can't even afford prescription drugs or healthcare whenever something happens?
Like, how can that pieces of shit like Martin Shkreli exist and get away? Well, he didn't get away with it.
He didn't get away with it because they got pissed because he didn't give them a cut.
They got him on fraud and shit, on some other shit. They didn't get... The drug shit wasn't the problem. It was all the money, what he was doing with the money, that was the problem. Like, the drug shit wasn't the issue. They were like, oh,
they're like, if we hit you up for this, then we're guilty, so we're gonna have to do something else.
God damn it, dude. I don't know, man. I'm all about like free market capitalism, but I think there needs to be some limitations.
I am too, but when it affects people's lives,
there just needs to be some things that are just off limits, man. I just think like human life is like one of them. Where it's just like, I mean, now you can start arguing that, like you, into other things, but
because then you get into like tobacco industry and health, like food industry, which that in itself is terrible.
Man. It's just
don't get me started on that shit.
America is just in a everywhere you look, man, it's a sticky situation.
But again,
nobody knows how to solve these problems, and nobody wants to tackle them because they are so complex.
But aside from the healthcare issue, the other shit, the drugs, like all of that stuff, at the end of the day, that's on the individual.
True.
No one is forcing you to go to McDonald's and take fentanyl and smoke 6-packs of cigarettes a day.
And I think that's why the government is just essentially just, I mean, I call it like I see it, man. They're letting that shit come to the border.
Yeah.
They have all the resources to secure that border 100%.
Yeah.
They've just chosen not to. And then a governor comes around in Texas, right? Greg Abbott tries to do that, and they try to stop him from doing that. That should be a big red fucking flag right there, dude. But anyway, like I said, and you pointed out too, man, it's the individual's choice. It's a freedom of choice, and I think that they believe that is a problem that will just solve itself in the end. And they just want people to die.
Which personally, I feel like people should be able to do whatever the hell they want to, as long as I don't have to pay for it and it doesn't affect another person.
Yeah, it doesn't hurt anyone else. Yeah. I mean, it's a real like libertarian school of thought.
So that's like the fentanyl shit. Like, yeah, it's terrible, but no one's forcing that in them.
Sure,
so
no doubt.
They know what they're doing. A lot of them. Some of them don't. But at the end, I feel bad for the fucking kids that do it and get caught up on some bullshit and don't know. That's bad.
No,
but man.
I don't know, man.
You can't.
I just want to live in a world where we have true transparency with our government. If you're doing some dirty shit, just let us know, baby. You know what I mean? But whatever. We're never going to know. I'm just getting tired of them feeding us like half-truths and bullshit and trying to
and then going back on it and being like, nah, actually, we were like, this never happened.
Yeah. Like, I don't know. Like, come on, man. Like, come on. You know what you're doing.
Yeah.
So, but whatever, man. But like I said, I'm optimistic about 2024, guys. Hang in there.
Good stuff.